Previously on Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations. You did it, didn't you?
Yes. Wait, what are we talking about? No. That's not true. I thought you were talking about something else. I'm sorry. I had a very large breakfast. I didn't mean to leave such a huge... wait, what are we talking about? Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed.
A bit what?
Dazed.
You mean dazed?
Yes, that's what I said. Dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there, dead. Oh, opening the safe, of course.
What?
My kid got caught on the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body.
Excuse me!
Why did you hide the body in the safe anyway? Well, because it wouldn't fit in the drawer. Oh my God, this guy! Can I go defend at me? This guy!
Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Mask to Mask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Kane Bullard. October 14th, 12:14 p.m., District Court Defendant Lobby number 4.
My sis?
I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. So then, she's still alive, inside your heart.
Nicky boy!
Oh, Miss Delight. Is it true that detective is the real killer? Yeah, to be honest, we don't have any definitive proof. But he's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lordly Taylor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective At and me want to kill Kane Bullard? Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. Oh dear, we're going to be late. Yeah, we gotta go. Yeah, no time to talk about this. I need to find some solid proof. And it's gotta happen sooner rather than later. October 14th, 12:21 p.m., District Court, Courtroom number 6. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Luke Atme, please take the stand. Well, how do you do, Sir Lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you the perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Mask to Mask. I'm sorry. I'm afraid even the great Luke Atme has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there is no way I could know what's been going on in here. You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Mask to Mask. Indeed. It's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. Red jewel. It was in the blackmail letter. He's the one being blackmailed, not Ron. So you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Mask to Mask. Of course. Very well then, Luke Acme. Let us begin with this simple question. On October the 12th at 1 a.m., Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. Thanks. All right, Mr. Acme. It's the night of the murder. Speak. We're all ears. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. The alibi. I was stealing the urn as Master Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Master Mask was the same time as the murder. It seems the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything else, up until now, is all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well. Well, I mean, he could have taken that photo on a different day, right? Even the great Master Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. Unfortunately, Mr. Acme, we still have to do your cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick. I think he must have met Francisca von Karma. The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. Okay. I was stealing the urn as Master Mask, just as I announced I would. So this photograph is the proof, correct? Indeed it is. And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask. That is why I am called Mask the Mask, after all. But conveniently, that also means there is no way to tell who this really is. What do you mean?
Objection!
Ah, are you saying that this is not, in fact, Luke Acme? That it could be an accomplice dressed up as Master Mask to create an alibi? I never even thought about that. What an interesting idea. Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf Loof, had an accomplice? No one calls you that! If Luke Acme was at KB Security during the murder, then the Master Mask in this picture has to be a fake, or the photo's a fake. Then there really was an accomplice. But right now, I have no idea who it was. Don't have any idea right now either. Baseless objections are just what that guy wants. There's got to be another way, and I'm going to find it. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point. That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent the calling card to Lord Lee Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right? Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You truly are evil, aren't you? Yes. Evil is what I am. Evil is what I do. Evil is my middle name.
Hey, Nick, isn't there something odd about this? Hmm? Detective Atney was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lord Lee Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona. You know, that's true. It is kind of odd.
A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness.
So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here. Is that correct?
Indeed it is. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime.
The very thing that proves you committed the crime. When you think about it, it's really odd. You say that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose.
Objection!
He was simply caught by the very camera that he had set up. Yeah, exactly. We all have days like that.
Really? Indeed. It turned out that there was no such a thing as the perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing. A sad, blue melody.
It looks like I'd better gather more information for now. He's truly the killer. There's gotta be something phony in that photo.
The time at which the camera captured Mask to Mask was the same time as the murder.
About the camera that took this photograph.
Oh, come now. It's all too clear what you're thinking.
Huh?
You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you?
I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lord Lee Taylor. And on top of that, it was Lord Lee Taylor's staff that printed that picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered.
I see.
Yeah, looks like I'd better find something else that could be suspicious. So, this alibi is false? It has to be, or else he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security. But I'm not really spotting anything unusual. There are two possibilities. Either the mask to mask in the photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. Let me see. Now, why does she point it out there? A. Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement?
I'm not sure I follow you.
Yeah. Clearly, damn.
You don't sound very sure, Mr. Wright.
Yeah, I'm not.
Objection denied.
Yeah. Okay, mean... To the security at Lord Lee Taylor, I will be coming to purloin the most priceless work of art on display in your Treasures of Korean exhibit. Take good care of the speckled urn, won't you? There's truly mask to mask. Wait a minute. It wasn't speckled in the photograph, in the poster. What the hell? No, not that. no, we already did this. Wait a minute, this is new, isn't it? Wait, hang on, what? Basement warehouse and this picture that supposedly captures it. It's got to be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? Oh! The statue's supposed to be there. No. Are you implying that this picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around the basement warehouse that night, before the theft took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night.
Very well, then let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny?
Did that? The funny part is right here.
Wait, this is a blood stain.
Only if you're playing Danganronpa, Judge.
Blood! Blood! Now this case is getting interesting.
Not exactly. The stain is actually pink paint.
Oh, just paint. And peach colored at that.
These aren't pink. Oh. Okay, some of them are on the outside. From blood to peaches. The judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is, when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse, it turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen.
Well, Mr. Wright, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains?
The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it. I myself was there the night the theft took place and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then that statue should have been there.
Objection! But when I went there the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner. Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally?
Your Honor, this statue is quite larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it that distance.
Yeah, in that case, can you prove it?
Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night? And can you do it, Nick? Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it?
Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue on the night of the crime?
Look at me! The one who moved the statue is none other than Luke at me.
Come now, sir lawyer. Here you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions?
It's very simple. The witness was the only one in that basement warehouse that night.
That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue?
The reason for moving the golden statue. Here's where our battle really begins.
Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue?
Reason can be found here in this photograph.
Hey,
Luke at me, you pretended to be Mask Damask to create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like cheap film at a drugstore. That is why you had to move the statue.
A single fatal flaw?
Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? Timestamp. Naturally, the lie in this photo is the timestamp.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke Atme went to KB Security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lordly Taylor at this time.
But what does that have to do with the statue being moved?
Remember, if you will, Your Honor, when was this statue placed beside the warehouse door?
Well,
the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Luke Atme had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so, in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. What the? Oh, of course, the statue hadn't been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. So, on the day of the crime, Mr. Atme must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke Atme had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He had to make the room match the way it had been. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in this photo.
Order! Order! Mr. Atme, is this true?
One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this?
What's that?
The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime. It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data.
Yeah. Order! Order! Mr. Godot, what is the meaning of this? Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down!
My 11th cup. I have promised to drink no more than 17 during the trial. Which means I'm still good to the last drop.
However, the defense has a very good point.
A good point? So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points. He's got his points mixed up with his other points. So you say that this photograph was taken ahead of time, and that the statue was moved in order to make it match. That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied. Yeah, which is... That's 12. That is only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams.
That's very true.
No way! Don't fall for that, Your Honor! Hey, Mr. Damask.
Yes?
If there's no funny business in your actions as Mask Damask,
There should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it. Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn. The sacred urn heist. I first received a request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box and Zavade. It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. No. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. No. The pink splotches did not appear until after the urn arrived. That's pretty much all stuff we heard before, isn't it? Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave. Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time? Zavali. Very well then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. I mean, he saw the urn after the paint was spilled on it, but before he sent the card. So the contradiction is when he held the urn for the first time. But I'm still going to press on everything. You were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews. Is that right? Indeed. It seemed that they had heard of my Zavakling reservation. Excuse me? Svarkling reputation? That's correct. Oh, good grief. I see Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos. You'd better watch out too, Maya. The urn was placed in a box in Zavadi. It was then sent to the warehouse. You mean this box? Yes, that pathetic box. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn. And she wouldn't let anyone into the storeroom, not even me. Interesting new tidbit. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. So, you're sure that you had never seen the urn before? Indeed. You may ask Lady Andrews to confirm for yourself. My security was focused entirely on the entrance to that warehouse. However, look at me. Let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. You mean this calling card? That's right. That is, without a doubt, my calling card. I guess Mr. Delight didn't make this after all. Of course, because Atming knew about the emblem. Making this card authentic would have been child's play for him. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smooth. Oh, wait, back. Then no one entered the basement warehouse. Unfortunately, there were many different treasures being taken there. Thus, for a period of approximately 5 days, people were indeed going in and out of the warehouse. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. All right, let's present it here, since it's the last statement anyway. Mr. Abney,
if you really are Mask the Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct?
But of course.
Is there a problem with the calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Mask the Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn.
Yes, that is true, but so what?
Truth be told, there is no way the Master Mask could have known about this pattern.
What do you mean?
This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains.
Paint stains?
And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lord Lay Taylor. That's 13. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say, an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. You can't be serious. And yet, this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Adme had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water.
Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself?
All right, that did it. He's broken. Nick, I think it's still a little early for a victory pose. Okay. That's 14. Huh. It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days.
Conviction, you say?
Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Mask the Mask. And now, we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle?
That's a good point. You are the most fickle person in this room, Judge.
No, wait, don't fall for that too, Your Honor. You say that Luke Adme was the one who killed Kane Bullitt? Then let me ask you this. Why would he do that?
An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright. Motive. Might you, by merry murderous motive manifest?
What? Nick, he's getting his second win.
If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron Delight, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder.
The only one with any motive we've seen is Ron Delight. Isn't that right, Detective?
Indeed. According to my own research, that boy's motive is clear.
Without a motive?
Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in the murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were. I'd be honored to, Sir Old Timer.
They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance.
Motive for murder. I, Luke Acme, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Mask the Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Run Delight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes that he is Mask the Mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. So the victim, Kane Bullard, blackmailed the defendant.
This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter.
What?
Okay.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination.
Okay.
Hey, look at me. Had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever.
And who in the world is going to prove that? I will.
Maybe able to...
After doing a thorough background check of Detective Atme and Kane Bullard, we were unable to find any links between them. It's all in the report.
Perhaps they were connected through their work. They were both involved in security.
Nope.
That was blunt. In any case, the only one with a motive was Mr. Delight. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Mask to Mask and simply mistook who he was.
Mistook.
That's right, mistook. It's from the Old Norse mistaka, meaning to take an error.
That wasn't what I meant.
Just who did the victim mistake Master Mask to be? Why, the answer is obvious. Run Delight, of course.
Boy, I'd like to wipe that smug look off this guy's face. Sure. Why would the victim mistake the defendant for Master Mask?
Don't you already know that? Zavare, take a look at this newspaper.
Oh, that's a famous tear of Emanon, a magnificent jewel.
And it's blue. That photo shows a magnificent detective as well, does it not? Furthermore, it also shows an ugly guard, namely the defendant.
The defendant?
The victim clearly misread this article and Zavai! He got the wrong impression. The impression that this ugly security guard was in fact Mask the Mask.
I see. That was an unusually reasonable deduction.
It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Run Delight.
You mean this blackmail letter right here?
It says, bring me $50,000.
And the high handwriting is, without a doubt, the victim's. There's no mistake. We have an official report to prove it.
But I don't see an addressee on this letter anywhere.
An addressee? This letter was discovered in Ron Delight's apartment. And Mr. Delight did show up at the designated place at the designated time. The fact that there is no addressee is irrelevant. I wonder... What's up, Nick? I just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. Delight? Whoa, you have any evidence of that? For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling that there's something not quite right about this blackmail letter.
Well, Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied?
Yeah, actually I am. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Let's make sure. Yep, red diamond. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme?
Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's all right.
When you said that this letter was addressed to Rhonda Light, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction.
Contradiction?
I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that.
You're one to talk.
At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you've got there, Junior?
Indeed. Time to man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter.
Okay.
Huh.
A little 2-1 punch that wouldn't even faze me.
Ow.
Wait a minute. I think you mean 1-2 punch.
Mr. Wright, try thinking things through a little more before finding fault with others.
Yeah, thank you. I need to present the what's the name? The newspaper article, don't I? Okay, I don't need to read it again. I just got to do that. No, don't proceed with your testimony. Okay, here. Oh my God, I have to go through all of that again? Oh, wait. I can just present the newspaper article here, can I? Let's see. I hope so, because I'm out of, health or whatever. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Ammonon, the stolen jewel.
Well, what about it?
The problem is this jewel's color. Color? I'm not too much for discussing color myself.
Yeah, everything you see is probably red, isn't it?
According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day.
Red?
Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the Tear of Ammonon that Master Mask stole after all. And your point is, Mr. Trite? So are you trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That is what you're trying to say, right, Trite?
That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright?
Well, is that what you're trying to say? Right? Nick? Yes. This is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailing! Naturally, it was you, Detective Atme.
You have some sort of basis for that claim?
You've been personally involved in every single mask-to-mask case. And in the last case, you recovered what was stolen and received a jewel as your reward. A jewel. Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring. That is the diamond referred to in the letter, which means that Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you.
Order in the court. Order, I say.
That's 15.
It seems you've gone too far with childish pranks, Mr. Wright.
No, I don't like the way you said that.
Pain Bullard blackmailing Luke at me? Are you for real?
Yes, I am. Nick, come on, stand up to him. He's holding a hot cup of coffee.
Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. You don't want your identity revealed to the world. Yes, it certainly does. Payne Bullard threatened to make Luke Atmey's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So just what was that identity?
Atmey killed Payne Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret? This is what it all comes down to, Nick. The identity that Luke Atmey wanted so desperately to keep secret was his identity as... Right, he was the one mailing Ron instructions on what to steal and how to steal it.
Luke Atmey was a blackmailer.
Objection.
Hey now, is that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Payne Bullard was the one blackmailing Luke Atmey. Are you saying that Atmey was blackmailing someone else on top of that?
You have to admit, that does sound a little odd.
It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Payne Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atmey. But Ron Delight was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident?
Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Emanon heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans.
Detailed plans? In which case, that would mean that Ron Delight was actually Master Mask.
That is what we are claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. Delight steal his targets for him.
And that someone was none other than Luke Atmey. Shh! Silence! Now I see. It's all becoming clear.
What is?
When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong?
Dr. Pratt, how did you...
You say that I, Luke Atmey, was blackmailing Ron Delight. In which case, I would naturally know all about his relation to Mask to Mask.
Well, yes.
Ron Delight started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime. Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him other ways.
That's 16.
In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence. During the first crime, how did Luke Atmey know that Ron Delight was Mask to Mask?
Oh, he found the he found the costume in the trash can. I think I see it.
See what?
When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. It's into lust of mischief, trying to be the center of attention.
What do you mean?
This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Ron Delight in his card uniform. It seems that Mask to Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit. and hid it in a bucket.
This sounds far too stupid to be true.
Correct. The tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Atme. That's when you learned that under his mask, Master Mask was Run Delight. What he's supposed to be Master Mask? No, it looks like he wasn't even ace defective. I can't believe it. He was just a slimy blackmailer.
What a fraud! Trying to pass himself as a ace detective. How dare you expose me like that? I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective and also Master Mask. Why can't you understand that?
I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity.
Why, you... How dare you even dare to imply that there could ever fall such lowly death to yourselves with big mouth you're supposed to throw? I say none of you can compare to my genius. That's all gold. That's climatic, cold murder, the ace detective cannot handle the blackmail. It's enough to make one laugh.
What?
It would seem we finally arrived at the real answer.
That was quite a performance by Mr. Atme.
Bailiff, please prepare cell for Mr. Atme.
Objection!
That's 16.
The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim. What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my ruling.
Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge. Excuse me? You don't get much more in your face than that.
It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Track.
What?
It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke Atme was a filthy blackmailer. And that he wasn't at Lordly Taylor the night of the murder.
That's right. That's why he's the one who killed Mr. Bull.
But there's still one thing you have yet to prove. What is that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB Security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered.
No way!
Order! Order in the court! Will Mr. Wright?
Oh, this is it. It's the final round. I've got to prove that Atme was at Mr. Bullett's office on that night. But, can you really prove that?
That's long enough. Mr. Trite, I want to hear your answer.
That night, Luke Atme was at KB Security and the defense, oh boy. I get this wrong. I get this wrong. Yeah, I'm done. I got only 2 little points left and okay, I can't think of anything. I can't prove it. Yet!
Just as I thought.
Come on, let me cross-examine them or something. Okay, yes. But if we hear more of Detective Atme's testimony...
Objection!
Oh.
Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trite.
What do you mean?
I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean.
What?
You've forgotten? Luke Atme is here after we interrupted his own trial. And you have failed to prove that he committed the murder.
Yeah, but you still have another cup of coffee left to drink.
I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict
as Mask the Mask.
No. Hallelujah. It seems that love wins out in the end after all.
What?
I am the ace detective as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Randalites will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Order! Order in the court! That's enough deliberation over this witness.
I can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is... Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and... By then it'll be too late. Huh? Then why? You'll have an alibi. Oh, that's 17. Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law. Double jeopardy?
Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, that defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts. And it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else.
Mr. Atme will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Masked Mask, which means...
He will be innocent as far as the murder of Kane Bullard is concerned.
No way!
The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atme's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as Kane Bullard's murderer.
You... I think I messed up. But now there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer, Luke Atme, will go free.
You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. And as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid that I have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections?
Yes! Object, object, object.
Phoenix, object!
I don't know what we got, but we gotta object.
Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Atme.
Damn. Oh. What? Oh, Mia. I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result.
How did you...
Phoenix, raise your head up high. You've forgotten what I used to tell you. A lawyer is someone who smiles, no matter how bad it gets. That voice! No way! No, it's not like she doesn't appear in every single game. Long time no see, Phoenix. Mia! This is the true power of the Korean channeling technique. I know that it's really Maya who's standing before me, but right now, she's my mentor, Mia Fey. Wearing clothing meant for someone with much smaller dimensions. Now, let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine. Not yet. Testimony's not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today.
Yes, that's true, but...
Unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks.
Fair enough, sir lawyer. It seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Randalites will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness.
You're going to continue the cross-examination on that flimsy-ass loophole? Okay.
Yes, but these comments appear to have no importance whatsoever.
Very well. Then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert our right to question them. Is that all right with you, prosecutor?
Is something the matter, Mr. Godot?
Nothing.
Oh, sir lawyer, it looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods will do anything to me, look at...
Let's hear it.
Huh?
It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination.
Mr. Godot, what are you... Very well then, Mr. Look at me. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks.
The defense would like to hear why you declared the defendant to be the true murderer.
So please, give us one last bit of testimony. Hey,
Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance.
Yes, Chief. The last testimony. Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lordly Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph ready. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Run Delight. And thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he'd sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter? The victim likely just mistook the color of the Jew. Zavali! Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy.
This testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well.
The witness's earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained and none of them seem to contradict anything. But of course. But how did you know about the emergency buzzer? The police investigation documents were directly through me. And I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, sir lawyer.
Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, sir lawyer?
I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
We cannot postpone Luke Atmy's trial any longer. This is your last chance.
Hang on a sec. Just one chance? Yeah. It seems that the party's about to begin. Well, Phoenix, there isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony. So it would seem... what do you mean? So it would seem... Listen, Phoenix. Pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. You can't point out a case-breaking contradiction. You lose. That's all there is to it.
Oh, that's 18!
Oh, did I miscount? Cup number 17, the last cup. It seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial. I have to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony. And I need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is find the contradictory remark and press it. Remember, you only get one chance. Oh. Ow! So I can't do the usual thing of pressing on everything. Oh, crap. Okay. Not at Lordly Taylor. Yeah. Okay, he did the photo. Key card and wallet. A buzzer, which only sounded once. Button did not have any fingerprints on it. Outfit. Blackmail letter. Wait a minute. How did he know that? All right, here we go. Oh, I almost pressed the wrong button. That would have been bad. Mr. Atme, about this last remark.
Objection!
Oh, crap.
You still don't get it, do you, Trite? This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement.
I didn't! Crap.
I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Godot. What? Mr. Atme, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder.
How can you say that?
Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atme? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit. Is that correct?
Indeed. That's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof.
Or like your deductions prove that you're a fool.
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty.
When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron Delight was dressed as Master Mask when he went to the scene of the crime?
It was just a few hours ago. Back when my sixth cup was looking at me with a cold stare.
Ninja, I did forget to mention. Did I forget to mention it before? I'm sorry. I just never had a chance to mention it up till now.
That's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should know this are those who have been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Atme?
There is no way you should have known about that. You were in the next courtroom being tried as Master Mask. So then enlighten us. Just how did you know about that piece of information?
Come on. This detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand. And it's those chances that I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit. There is one and only one way for Detective Atme to have found that out. Only one way, you see. Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony.
When I entered the office, there's a suspicious shadow there.
For a second, my client witnessed the real killer.
Objection!
But Mr. Delight never saw his attacker. So there's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was Luke Atme. So with that statement, that I'll turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying?
Mr. Delight saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you turn that statement around,
it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Ron Delight.
impossible. Detective Adme, you saw Master Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron Delight. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing. Why is everything shaking? What's happening? Earthquake! Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. I am the tragic clown. He did this already.
That's the same line you gave yesterday.
But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time. Whoa! They're coming to take me away. Oh, they're coming to take me away.
What an awfully complicated incident. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atby, who was in turn blackmailing Ron Delight. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Atby tried to frame Ron Delight. He then claimed to be guilty as Master Mask in order to escape his true crime. And to that end, he came up with this plan, to use the double jeopardy rule when making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth.
Excuse me.
I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of murderer.
Don't ignore me!
Oh, I didn't realize you were there.
What? Why wouldn't he be? About the verdict.
I know, you never committed any murder.
That's right. I'm so glad you understand that. But I really am Master Mask. So, thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? What was it you said? Double jeopardy?
Well, now that you mention it, I've been careless.
Careless? What do you think, Mia? As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent. Then, Master Mask is really innocent? It would seem so. For now. For now? There are several other crimes.
Now then, this court finds the defendant not guilty.
Yay! Wait, this is really lucky. This isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I still am Master Mask after all. October 14th, 3:35 p.m. Lobby number 4. You did it, Phoenix. Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah. Just because Maya doesn't call on me much these days. Oh? I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days. You mean about becoming the master of the Korean channeling school? Becoming the master and saying goodbye to our mother. Misty Faye, right? Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? Of course! Well then, see you around. Bye. Mia. Mr. Wright. I don't know what to say. Congratulations, Mr. Delight. Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore, though. Now that Come on, just be happy already. Maya, you've been cleared of the murder charges and got off as master to boot. But in exchange, I lost everything. Huh? What do you mean? There's a stealing security information from TB Security, becoming mask. I did it all for one reason. For her.
You mean your wife, Desiree?
She hates criminals more than anything.
Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she?
She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure.
So that's why you became mask to mask?
Yes, but it's all over now. A broken bowl can never be put back together! That's not true, right, Nick?
Right.
Really? Let me go back to the way things were. You'll be fine, and Nick can prove it.
Wait, what? I can? Kinda wish you would check on me first. Mr. Delight, even if a bowl's broken, there's always a way to put it back together. Wait, really? Just that?
The sacred urn? Desi was the one who found this.
Desiree, your wife, she's always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything.
Ah, there you are. Mr. Light. You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you? Ronnie! Why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you'd quit KB Security. I never imagined that you were really Master Mask either. Mr. Light, what are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you? Oh, come on. It's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast, there's no way he could ever get away. But didn't you say that you hated criminals? Oh, I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective. I see. My Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them, like a man. I just love a man who's so chivalrous. Chivalrous? I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Desi.
Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you?
Nicky boy.
Huh?
I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Take care of yourself. You too, Nicky boy.
I can feel my face going red. Oh no!
Mr. Nick, Mr. Kabaya, congratulations! Gasp!
Talk about bad timing.
Mr. Nick, how could you, with another man's wife in front of Mr. Kabaya? No, you gotta, I'll never forgive you, never, ever! So, just as the case came to a close, so did my consciousness.
Ron said a broken bowl can never be put back together. But I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together even better than before. Oh, it's so cute. The end! To the outro! Well then, all is well that ends well, I suppose. Ron was proven innocent of murder, got off of a grand larceny charge on a technicality, and managed to keep the girl.
I wonder if I actually lost count of those cups of coffee or if the game was playing fast and loose with that. I guess I'll find out while I'm editing. So, the next case is called Recipe for Turnabout and has Maya in a cute little waitress outfit over her channeling costume, so I can't help but wondering, does Maya get accused of murder in every game in the trilogy? I guess we'll find out next week. In the meantime, up here is a playlist of my Danganronpa Goodbye Despair playthrough, and down here is a video that YouTube recommends. Anywho, if you'd like to get videos a week early, there's a channel membership option, or if you'd like to buy me a coffee, there's also the super thanks thingy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!